Now, how did Azir get dove level 2 by Orianna? Yeah. He's so ass! Look at him pinging him. And then this happens, and then Orianna goes top lane and gets a triple kill. Oh my god, bro.
Yo guys, Young back here with another video. I know I made a video similar to this around a year ago, but today I'm coming out with the updated version. So this is how I hit Challenger with I think it's a 71% win rate. Yep, 71% win rate on Orianna. Ignore the irelia win rate there. But yeah, we're currently ranked 37, and we're kind of abusing Orianna to climb. Just if you could see my match history here, I've been popping off with her. I think she's pretty OP right now. You can see I'm having some really good games, 13-1 and 20, 16-6 and 10, 11-0-10. We lost though, that's crazy, 10-2-10. So I'm going to show you guys what I do, the runes, setups, items, and the gameplay. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so let's get into runes. I know there's been a new rune out called Deathfire Touch. I need to do more testing on it. I think it's pretty good, but for now, if you're versus a melee champ, I like Aerie. I think Deathfire Touch is also just as good, but I like Aerie. I think it just depends. There's probably someone out there who knows the math better than me. So these two are always very good versus melee champs. And you can still go Storm Raid or Surge. The only time I would use it is if I'm versus something like, let's say, a Nasus mid or another mid that I can really easily proc it versus and I need to kite. But other than that, I don't really like it. I think the damage from either of these runes is really good. And if I'm versus a mage that has equal or longer range than me, I will go Comet. And I'll probably run something like this. I think I use these three almost every time, and I alternate the sorcery. And as for secondary runes, I've really been liking Legend Haste with Cutdown, but you could also go Triple Tonic Cosmic if you want more Summoner Spell uptime. And I pretty much always go this, the attack speed, the adaptive force, and the health. So that's it for runes. Now let's get into items. You always go D-Ring as your starting item, and then I like to go Sork Boots. I pretty much always go Sork Boots. I think the tier 2 Sork Boots you get are very nice, or tier 3, sorry. So I really like that, and I always go Blackfire Torch. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Blackfire Torch for my first item. I really like it. I think you can pretty much skip tier most of the time. I really like the damage from the Blackfire Torch. And the only other time I would alternate from this build is if I'm going Rod of Ages, and that would be if I'm versus a Burst Mage like Fizz or Diana, where the extra HP is really useful. But other than that, I always go Blackfire Torch into something like Rabadon's third, sorry, second, into like a Void Staff, and then if they have something like Fizz or Karthus where Zhonya's has good value, I'll go Zhonya's, and then I'll round out the build with either a Shadow Flame or a Liandry's. But you can pretty much go any item. You can even go Banshees if you're versus a lot of AP. So that's it for items. Now let's get into the gameplay. Let's get into early laning. So this game, I'm Orianna versus Azir. I'm running Comet. And my plan is to just try and get pushed early and just harass as much as possible. So, and this is what you should do versus any mage. So we start autoing the wave, and I'm going to be fishing for Qs when he walks up to auto. You can see I'm fishing. I'm trying to bait out his W as well. We get one of his Ws, so that's good. And yeah, as you can see with my movement, my intent is to look for Qs whenever he looks for last hits. As you guys can see, whenever my minions get low, I'm looking to see if he's going to last hit, and then I'm going to Q him accordingly. So see, now that we have push secured, this is nice. Now we can just focus on harassing. So push this wave here, and I think I ward Raptors. Warding Raptors is really OP because it lets your team know where their jungler is. And yeah, as you can see, I'm just fishing for Qs whenever he goes for last hits. Then we're going to hit level 2 here. And when they're walking this near the ball, sometimes it's totally fine to just QW, even if it's not going to be for a last hit. In this case, there is a last hit here that he's going for, but it should just always land because Orianna QW is very fast. So get that QW, and he's already very chunked. The lane's going very good. Speed this up a little. And again, I'm going to say this over and over, but I'm just looking for QWs whenever he goes for last hits. My QW is up. If I see he's going to last hit, take this minion here. I'm getting ready for it, and I look to harass. So already he's half HP. And we had a very good first 2 waves. And now my plan here in the screenshot is we don't have to push per se anymore. We can just kind of just last hit this wave, because if the wave meets in the middle here, he has to walk up farther compared to when we push. And it gives us more uptime to harass him if we're not pushing, because we already built up a lead now. So all we have to do is kind of just punish this guy. So out of the wave a little bit, but my plan here is to maximize the uptime of harassing him, which means I'm just gonna last hit this wave. I'm not gonna hard push. And again, I'm just gonna fish for QWs whenever he goes for last hits, or if he's trading me like this, get a nice QW there. And this lane's going really good. He's not gonna be able to walk up anymore, and we're gonna build a slow push and eventually dive him or get a good base off. So get another nice chunk. And at this point, the lane's looking very bad for him. He's down 2 potions, or 1 potion rather. And again, I'm building a slow push here, and I'm just going to QW. Whenever he walks up, like I'm getting ready for this cannon here. If he walks up for this cannon, I got my ball in place. QW, auto, boom, another auto. This guy didn't even get the cannon. Hella sad for him. And now we're eventually going to dive him. Like, if you see this, if you ever see this in game, guys, if this wave is this big, and you can dive him or get his flash. I don't care if the jungler is near. If you can trade 1 for 1, just do it. So we walk up. He does an interesting combo, but we kill him. And now the lane is completely over. He's missed an entire wave. A lot of minions. And yeah, we'll base. And our plan now, because we crashed a big wave into his tower, League Fundamental 101, is that his wave will always bounce into us. But we have an item advantage. We have, a lot more gold than him, so we'll have all the options here to decide what to do. In my case, my plan here is to hold a freeze, because this wave is going to push into me no matter what. My plan is to hold a freeze as long as I can, while also harassing him and choking him out even more. So we get a nice QW trade there, and I'm being very mindful with my trades. I don't want to randomly blow up this wave using my abilities. I want to harass him as much as I can, while also making sure the wave comes into me. And how you do that is you want to ensure that enemy has at least 3 more casters than you, and that the wave sits like around here. So that's my plan. So already that's kind of secured. We wish for a Q, we miss it, but it's all good. We have this nice freeze here, and we just look to fight him. Like, even if we don't play these fights perfectly, we have almost 800 gold on stats on him, so we should just win. So I get these nice trades, and the wave is in a very, very bad spot for him. It should be kind of a freeze. Like, okay, I know I said 3 casters. This isn't going to be a real freeze. Ideally, it's like 3 casters and it's a little behind here. But even then, this is still going to buy us time to harass and keep the wave on our side just a little long. So I did kind of mess up here, but it's still fine. He's getting choked out, and we'll keep continuing. And I mean, if he autos like this, then yeah, it's going to freeze. So he's kind of a noob for that. But you walk up. While the wave is frozen, as you can see, he doesn't really have any options. And one mistake here is I think I probably should ward before playing this aggressive, but I did realize in game that it's a Ambessa who's not level 6, and it's a useless Azir, so I did feel pretty safe doing this, and I think I eventually do ward in a second. Yeah, you should always ward before playing this aggressive, so yeah, we get a ward. And yeah, so we did our plan pretty successfully. We kept the freeze rather, we harassed, and we built up another nice lead for ourselves, and now that we did that, the wave, since I messed up the freeze a little bit, the wave is going to push into him. Ideally, I could have frozen it a little longer, but it's all good. Now that we're approaching our gold for Lost Chapter, my plan is to get a base, so I just push this, and I base. So really, really good start, and as you can see, we have Lost Chapter, and again, the wave, we crashed the wave, so League Fundamental 101, it's going to come back into us, so again, we can play for the freeze, we can do whatever. And because we're winning mid so hard, our jungler is kind of free to do whatever he wants. Like, this part of the map should be like a black hole for their enemy, for their jungler. Like, if I'm their jungler, I never want to gank mid if I'm looking mid, And my jungler has all the options in the world. I can follow him, I can help him take objectives. So winning mid is pretty OP, guys. We get the dragon here. Very, very free. And again, I'm just going to look for harass. The wave came into us, so it's on our side. It's way easier to harass him. So that's what basing on a big crash wave can do for you. You get your buy, you come back into lane really strong, and the wave is in a good spot for you. So just a bunch of good stuff. And yeah, we'll be annoying, we'll harass. We're so strong that we can walk past his wave and just harass him at this point. We're up so much gold. He has boots and a glowing mode. We have Lost Chapter, so we should just look to fight. And even if these trades aren't the greatest. And yeah, again, we're going to look for harass whenever he goes for last hits. And what this guy should have done better, in my opinion, is this wave's coming into him. He does not need to walk up. So we're punishing that. He should honestly just sit back, give up 1 or 2 melee creeps if that means not dying, because he's walking up for these creeps when I'm looking for harass, and it's just not good. You're down 800 gold in stats. You should probably just not do that. So chunk him out, and we get a solo bolo here, so that's good. A good tip on Orianna is if you know enemy doesn't have TP, it's good to ult for the chunk because they can't come back to lane, and if they're chunked, you can kind of just do whatever you want. So yeah, that was a nice early laning phase, and from this point, mid is completely over. We're up 34 CS, 2 kills, 2 plates, so it's completely GG. We kind of just take over the game after. So yeah, that's a good early game, and we'll on to the next clips. Let's get into another game. I'm actually in a counter matchup this time. I think Irelia does pretty good into Orianna. But either way, I'll show you guys what I do and how I carry this game. So let's get into the setup. I thought I was versus Cassiopeia this game, so I went Ghost. So ideally, I don't think Ghost is good versus Irelia. If anything, you should maybe go Ignite or TP to play it safe. I don't really think Ghost does anything. I mean, it was useful, you guys will see. But either way, let's get into the game. So versus Irelia, if you have a laning rune, also I went Comet because I thought I was versus Cass. If I was versus Irelia, I would definitely want Aerie, but yeah, let's get into the game. Versus Irelia, you never want to let him Q onto you level 1. He'll just completely chunk you out. So what you want to do is start pushing a little bit early, so these minions die at awkward HPs. Because if you don't do anything to the wave early, they're all gonna die around the same time, and then Irelia can just Q onto you, and then you're sad. So I auto the wave a little bit, and now these minions are awkward HP, so let's say hypothetically, if she Qs onto this, she gets one sack, I Q her back, and I have my minions. I'll stand here while he auto trades me, and my minions will trade back. So it should be losing unless he has 4 stacks, because in that scenario he'll only have 2 stacks. So he knows that, so he doesn't go for the Q trade here, and I land a poke. So from this point, the early game is super important. We did what we wanted. We got an early push now, so this is super good. And now I'm just going to look to Q him whenever he walks up for CS and build up a slow push. So as you can see, we make him sit back. So this is really good. We'll speed it up here. Yeah, push. I'm just last hitting, by the way. And we get a nice QW, so that's good. And yeah, so this is how you should play early versus Irelia, because that's kind of the only chance you get to beat him. If you just let him do what he wants early and you don't build up a lead or harass, he'll just run you over because he's an Irelia and he'll have a minion wave to fight you with, and that's what he likes, and he'll completely destroy any mage he's verse. So yeah, we'll speed this up. We built a nice big wave here, and I'm just going to look to QW him again when he goes for last hits. But I'm going to be very careful. So I used all my abilities here, and if you guys don't know what Irelia does, she will kill you even at this HP. If she has these minions to get stacks on and she hits E, she will just kill you. So I use my abilities and I back off because that's all I can do here. I'm not going to fish for an extra auto here if I can. And yeah. And honestly, the reason why I think Ignite and Aerie would have been better is because you could probably fight him at this point here, because you kind of have to fight him here. This guy really messes up, I think. He should have just... I think he pushes too fast. I'll show you guys. But if he just... I'll show you guys. Let's just play it out. I'll show you guys what I do and what he could have done better. So he's pushing here. I sit back because he has 4 stacks. I'm not going to die to an Irelia. And he forces this really weird fight. And I use my summoner spell as well. I dodge out his E. I bait it. Yeah, I played it well. But let's think about it from his POV. And this is why I consider Irelia a counter matchup. Because even though I played early game pretty well, maybe if I had a better setup, I could have prevented this. But I'll just speed this. I'll just explain for you guys. So what Irelia could have done here is she can just slow push this and crash. She has TP, right? So if she can somehow crash this wave, get a base off, and TP back, I'm completely boned because he'll have a base, and I'll still be stuck in lane. And I don't know, it's just really bad for me. But what he does here is he pushes way too fast. He should not be doing this. I think he has 4 stacks. I can't really do anything versus this guy. And also, Ivern, I think, is in a better spot to gank. I don't really think Rengar can gank mid early. Ivern can always pop by mid, like pop and get a shield. So this guy's pretty safe in my opinion. He should just slow push this wave. Like, he doesn't have to be queuing this like crazy. And he also dashes onto me. So I know what you guys are thinking. It's like, okay, so what do I do versus a good Irelia? And the answer is like, it's a counter pick. If the enemy plays perfectly, like, you kind of just have to take it. So, but in this case, he didn't play perfectly and we punish. So, yeah, he pushes a bit too fast here. I think he definitely could have found a way to crash this wave and TP it, and I would have been completely boned. But hey, it's solo queue. It's North America. This is Challenger. I think I was like rank 30 in this game, and these players still make these mistakes. So don't think this will never happen in your game. But anyway, we get this kill. That's really nice. And honestly, I was kind of lost on what to do here. I think looking back, I probably should have held this wave a little. I think I messed up. So after this solo kill, because I have no CP, it's really hard. This is why TP is OP, because you can just come back to lane after a play like this. I think I should have, in retrospect, just walked a little back here, base, and then like held the wave and then base. But I end up kind of just griefing. Like I stay at this HP and he has TP. So even though this guy died a really bad death, like it's still like not the worst for him, because you can see my position here is pretty bad. So we'll just see how I get out of here. Yeah, I just base. I have to base here. And I'll lose a little bit, but that's fine. We got a solo kill. And honestly, versus Irelia, I feel like once Irelias start inting, they just run it down. After one int, they kind of just, turn on the Ferrari and start running it down. So Rengar looks for a mid gank here, which I don't think was the best, because, I mean, Irelia had no flash, but you don't really gank a 4-stack Irelia. So yeah, we'll continue watching this lane. As you guys can see, I mean, at this point, once you have an early lead versus Irelia, you really want to push it. It's kind of, again, it's the same thing. If he's looking for last hits, I'm just going to QW. I think he forces a base here, which is chill. But we're not going to let him do that for free. We hold a freeze here. And get a ward. We see Ivern. And yeah, this is chill. Again, like I know compared to the Azir game, we have to play a lot more reserved, because Irelia can fight you back, and this is still a counter matchup. So as you guys can see, I'm not playing as aggressive, and I'm not being put in as advantageous spots as the last game. But hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. And we have a nice freeze here. And what you should always do versus Irelia, by the way, is try to always make sure the wave is on your side. Like, this is so sad for Irelia. Even if it's not going to be a freeze, even if it's just for one wave, if you can somehow manage to get the wave in this position, it's really good. Because in this scenario right here, this freeze isn't going to hold forever. It's too close to my tower, so it will eventually push back. But I mean, if you're Irelia, don't do this. Like, I don't know what this is. Like, he took a tower shot. He's trying to. I get what he's doing. He's trying to crash the wave, but we're not going to let that happen. So, and get the nice push here. And in my head here, I'm thinking I really need to base. So, I push this. And yeah, so versus Irelia, it's really important. And versus most champs that counter you, it's as long as you can somehow find a wave to crash your wave, you'll be good. This guy's issue was he could never crash his wave, so he gets frozen on. He has to take these awkward bases, these awkward chunks, and it's just really bad for him. So we'll speed it up. Wave is even here. And again, I think a lot of players would push this. I don't opt to push this. Why? Because I know Irelia is coming back mid. He'll be here soon. I don't want to ever put myself in a spot where the wave will be frozen on. So in a hypothetical world, if I push this really fast, Irelia comes back. Irelia is the king at just freezing, because she has a lot of sustain. She can tank a whole minion wave. If I kill this wave and she comes back here, she can just walk all the way back, ignore me and the minions, and hold the freeze. So I'm just gonna sit back. I'm just gonna last hit. I know he's coming back. I'm not gonna force a push. And again, I'm just gonna look for QWs whenever he last hits. And look, I have to respect here. It's kind of what you have to do versus Irelia. Like, it's a counter matchup, so I don't have flash. He's level 6. He can very easily kill me, and I know that, so I'm playing very safe. I don't ever want to be put in a position where he ults me down and kills me. And I'm slowly trying to get this push off. And yeah, as you guys can see, what did I say? Irelia is the king at freezing. So what can you do in this scenario? You call your jungler. So I think I pick my jungler here. And I'm pretty strong. I can bait this. So this is the second clip, as you guys can see from the beginning, where I dodged the ult. I kind of got lucky here, but this is Irelia specific. This is good versus champs like Yasuo versus like Kassadin. They really want to kill you. They spent the whole early game getting harassed. So once they're actually strong, they will look to fight you. In this scenario, if I'm Irelia, yeah, I'm going to fight this guy. Like, look how far up I am, right? But in this case, I have my jungler. If you don't have your jungler, just don't do this. Give up CS, give up XP. You're going to die anyway, so why, give the enemy it for free? But in this case, I have my jungler, which is nice, and I have Ghost, so I do kind of outplay him here. I mean, he did just miss a point-blank ult, so that was kind of cringe. But even if I get ulted here, I'm pretty sure this is good for us. My Rengar's here. Even if it was a 2v2, I think we win. I have ult, I'm up 1 level, and I have Ghost. So this is like a very calculated play. So it's good. We get a kill, and then at this point, lane's over, and we do end up taking over this game. I end the game 14-6, or no, I end the game 14-6-6, and yeah. So on to the next clip. Let's get into team fighting. So the reason why Orianna is OP is because you can just carry a lot of team fights. You scale really well. So this game, we kind of had a trolling Zoe, but even then, we pull off a win here, very hard fought win. So yeah, let's get into this game. There's a bunch of random fighting, but I'm just gonna go over a lot of team fights because I think that'd be useful. So I'm TPing in here. The start was not that great, and I think what is important in team fights is punishing enemy mistakes. So in this example, Kaisa got queued by a Mumu. That should never happen. So already in my mind, I'm gonna ignore the Irelia and just go for the Kaisa because this guy's completely insane. So I mean, I agree. I mean, it's not really a grief. This Kaisa played really well, but I missed my ult, but it still ends up good. I still have my QW. I'm really fed, so we ignore the Irelia and we kill Kaisa. And I go for this because I have Zanya's. So it was good. We baited it out. That was a good team fight. On to the next team fight. Next team fight's here. So we'll just speed it up. And what's good about Orianna is you can follow up on engages really well. So already my Udyr is super unkillable. So I'm gonna be looking to see if he gives me a good ult angle. What you should be doing on Orianna is always looking with your engage to see if you have good ult angles. So I'm watching this fight here. I'm like, oh, this guy can go in. So I ball him. He walks in there. He gets in there. We get a nice Ori ult, and it results in some kills. So that was good. We run him down. And that's why I like Ori. Like you can follow engages really well and you can carry team fights. So the most important thing for team fights is stay alive and do damage, especially if you're a carry. So I'm always making sure I'm in a safe spot. Like if you can watch my positioning throughout this whole fight, I know there's no threat on me, so I'm free to walk in. Very happy. I walk in, I get this kill, and I walk back a little bit because I don't want to get this guy's like look at his items. He's 3.5 items. If I get EW queued, I'm pretty sure I'm one shot. So I walk back. I'm making sure I'm not giving Rise this range. And the nice thing about Orianna is you outrange like 90% of champions. So if you don't want to get EW'd by Rise, you will never get EW'd unless he like flashes on you or something. So don't give him that angle for free, you know? I walk back in because my teammate's ready to punish, and we get that nice kill. And boom, that's another nice team fight. But yeah, my most important tip is you don't have to look for crazy shockwaves. Sometimes you can get those 5-man shockwaves, but just stay alive and do damage. Your Q is such a low cooldown. You're kind of like an ADC where you have a bunch of sustained damage. So as long as you're staying alive and dealing damage, you can carry. So on to the next team fight. Already this start of the game is the start of the fight is I'd say it's okay. We get Rise, so that's good. And again, I'm always looking to see if I can follow up on engages here. So I don't have my ult actually, but even then you can still follow up with engages with W and with E. So I put my E onto Udyr and I W, and I think that's a large chunk of damage I do to Anomalous and Irelia. And again, also if you're versus dive champs, it's super OP to have Zanya's. So like in this case, I'm versus Irelia, Jarvan, Kaisa. So Zanya's is huge value. So that's another tip I would have with team fights is make sure you can get Zanya's value if you can. So as you guys can see, when I'm playing this fight, I'm looking for chunk, and I'm also okay to bait them onto me as long as I can Zanya's after, because it should be good. So as you can see, I flashed that. You need to Zanya's in this, like, what is it? How do I say it? Sorry, I'm stuttering. Pardon the remix, but I'm flashing the Jarvan EQ because I know if he knocks me up, I'll probably get one shot. So I'm always making sure that I'm in a position to Zanya's, if that makes sense. Like, I'll do this damage here, and I'm scanning their carries. Like, right now, there's no threat. There's no threat, so I'm chilling. And as soon as this happens, I flash. You have to be ready to react in situations like this. I flash away. Even though he jumps on me afterwards, I just Zanya's. And as you can see, that's really big value for my team. That's how you can carry big team fights like this. So yeah,